Hello, this is Pat Coakley, and this is Voices from My Bunker 2020. Wowzer, this is a long ass year. And it's September 18th, 2020. And this podcast today is going to be centered around my old but continuing problem of weight management. So if this isn't of any concern to you, feel free to check out. But September 18th, 2020, I'm realizing that I have the Bill Murray expertise in weight management. And what do I mean by Bill Murray, who, to my knowledge, doesn't struggle with weight? But he once described why acting was so perfect for him and so suited him. And it was, in his words, that he only had to be good 90 seconds at a time in movie making. And I laughed out loud because my ADHD of the arts so fits that scheme. If 90 seconds at a time was all I needed to be creative, seriously, I'd be Pappy Picasso. But I need more than 90 seconds, unlike Bill Murray. And not only in the art world, but in the weight management world, expertise for 90 seconds simply doesn't get the job done. It works in Hollywood. It doesn't work with someone who has a lifelong weight issue that we have to manage day to day. So today I am rebroadcasting a old podcast, and by old I mean 2016. Hello. That's what's considered old now, and doesn't it seem like another century ago? Just saying. But I'm also trying something new. I recorded a video podcast and posted it to my Coakley Creative Media YouTube channel. And all of that will be available and linkable on www.artofthediet.com, as well as on my www.patcoakley.com website. Why am I doing this? Well, number one, because I have the time to do it. Seriously, my doorbell, it rings for this podcast and ends the podcast. But other than that, if it's once a week that my real doorbell rings, it's a social week. And the weather is getting cooler, so any porch get-togethers are going to be limited by that, because not only do I not do well in the heat on the porch, I am not going to do well with New England fall and winter. So I'm thinking, how can I connect over the next few months, maybe years? I don't know. It just feels interminable. And I thought, some of the issues I talk about are very personal. And, for example, like weight management. So maybe having a video presence doing it will be more personal. And in consequence, maybe be more helpful. So that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to have multimedia on this. We're going to have video. We're going to have the regular audio podcast. And we're going to have the blog post written that will have a few photos. So let me get into the concept of slippery slope, which is, to me, one of the more understandable concepts that I have termed in my 10 plus years of weight maintenance. So what do I mean by it? I mean that when I initially lost weight 10, 11 years ago, 2009, I was hyper-focused, and I equivocate that to having a house built on flat land. In other words, everything was accessible. When you are hyper-focused in anything, but in particular with weight management, your day is known to you. You buy the right stuff, you portion out the right stuff, you track the right stuff. And in the beginning, when I was going to Weight Watchers, I went to a meeting every week. I weighed in every week. There were certain things that were non-negotiable. And the non-negotiable, Pat, was going to the Weight Watcher meeting and weighing in, even if I couldn't stay that week, which most of the times I did. But even if I couldn't, I weighed in, because this is where I can really go off track by negotiating with myself. Well, I'll wait until I've had a good day, or it'll be a better number in a couple of days. That's the stuff I had to knock off permanently, and have. I haven't gone to Weight Watcher meetings in years. I went for 7 years straight, actually. But every Tuesday, I weigh myself and make note of it. And in times like this, September 2020, I've got a sign up on my bathroom window that says, "Every day." And I've had that for a couple of months because it reminds me to weigh myself every day, not just Tuesday. But I've noticed that's been falling off in the past few months as I've been sort of unable to do my normal exercising due to, degenerative issues. Don't you love it when the doctor tells you that? Anyway, I haven't been doing it every day. And guess what? Hello, 4 pounds. So the note on my bathroom window now, or bathroom mirror now, says every day, and in parentheses, in my handwriting, I say, and every day means every damn day, Pat. So I talk to myself, and that's going to be step one in accommodating the slippery slope. Because once one has lost the weight, and if it takes a while, as it did for me, it took me almost a full year to lose the 60 pounds. There really isn't anything I don't know about what foods are good for me, what foods are trigger foods, what portions I need, how to offset a day when I don't follow it properly. That stuff is in your brain after you've done it for a year. And so it's not a knowledge gap or a habit gap that I'm missing. in weight management. And that's because the house of weight management is not built on flat ground. It's built on a slippery slope. And just imagine those homes that you see on the sides of mountains or hills that are stuck into what appears to be simply a drop-off. I don't know how they do it. Pillars, supports. God love them, how they do it. But that house is there, and that can withstand a rainstorm, tropical winds, whatever. And that's exactly what a weight management plan that's serious needs to have. And why is that? Why is it a slippery slope? And in the rebroadcast that I posted on www.artofthediet.com, I've linked to a few articles that explain it to me. Some of it in technical terms, some of it in very accessible terms. But the bottom line is that for someone who's had a lifelong weight issue and has done the roller coaster, gain, lose, our systems simply want that lost weight back. They think we need it for survival. So my evil twin that I've joked about, that's always sort of talking in my ear going, hello, Pat, look at that, really. That whole thing of popcorn, it wants you. So I joke about the evil twin, but the evil twin is actually a stand-in for my neurological as well as biological system. It thinks those 60 pounds need to come back in order for me to survive. It does not care that without the 60 pounds, my knees felt better. I was able to do more, to say nothing of looking better. The whole healthy track, my body doesn't care about. It thinks I need those pounds back, and it will literally do anything to get them back. And I think those of us who have been on this journey long enough know that that's true, because I know that when I was attending meetings, I heard a common story, always personalized and always emotional and always shame-filled, because they would say, this is my 4th time back to Weight Watchers. One woman I remember saying, this is my 6th time back to Weight Watchers, and I have to lose 100 pounds. And I don't believe her initial first trip to Weight Watchers, she had to lose 100 pounds. But let's say it was 60 like myself. But then over time, she regained that 60 and then an extra 5 or an extra 10, so that she was facing the 6th time back to Weight Watchers having to lose 100 pounds. And let's just breathe in and breathe out over that, because that is something we all are familiar with. And the judgment on ourselves, the inner critic, is brutal. And that's because the culture and what we know about it is brutal on us. It's basically saying your willpower sucks. You cannot do it. And so the articles that I link to really show you that this isn't a question of willpower. This is a question of our bodies thinking we need something that we know when we're conscious that we don't. But appetite increases. It's insidious, some of these ways the body has of undermining, maintaining your weight, you will get hungrier. The same amount of calories that suited you when you lost the weight and sated you when you lost the weight will not be the same amount 5 years later. Okay, so you are going to have to deal with hunger. And that wasn't ever my specialty, frankly. Before I did the serious weight loss, I'm not sure I ever experienced hunger. I don't think I let myself experience it. So it's not exactly one of my expertise topics. But the bottom line is that once you know this, and once the inner critic starts with the, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you basically say, oh, sit down, inner critic. Take a rest, because it's not what you are trying to tell me to do. It is simply that I have to assess the situation on the ground, realize that part of me is not in sync with keeping the weight off, and I have to outwit it. And for 10 plus years I have, with small cycles of 4 and 5 pounds here or there. And I'm at a point in 2020 with this pandemic and this crazy political situation, and that I'm telling you, I have to get serious again, because I can't do the exercising that used to bail me out of some bad habits, and that is not going to change for the foreseeable future. So I just simply have to build that in. So that's what my house built on the slippery slope has to achieve. It has to achieve a way of maintaining weight, maintaining health, while some of the things that Flatland used to provide me, like the exercising, like being able to eat more, used to provide. So that's what I mean by slippery slope. We have to adjust, and specifically, I have to adjust. And while it works in Hollywood, apparently, just to be good for 90 seconds at a time, with weight management, I have to string 90 seconds at a time together to make weeks at a time, with some small exceptions. It simply has to be a longer duration demonstration of my talent. And God bless Bill Murray. He's got the skills to do it for 90 seconds at a time. And what I do know about myself, and I think about all of you who listen, I know we all have that expertise as well, because we have lost the weight, we have maintained the weight, and when we haven't maintained the weight, we know how to pull ourselves back. And we know how to adjust the support systems in our life. Sometimes it's just small adjustments we make, like eliminating bringing a certain food into the house, which I do all the time, to a really great effect. If it is not there, it is not tempting me. As well as just simply cooking something new that will get you back to looking forward to a healthy meal, all of which is easily accomplished once the focus is back. And that's why I do my sticky note. And that's why I'm doing my little humorous sticky note because I was tending to ignore it, and I can't ignore it. That's simply the reality. So that's it. I hope it's helpful. I would love to know if you take a look at the video, whether you like that format, whether it's suitable. I'm working on getting the technology correct. It's not always working correctly. Hello. But I also cut my own hair now. And oh, good Lord. If you ever wanted to know why you spend the money for a good haircut, I am Exhibit A, because I've got nice hair. That's something that has just been a gift to me. But when you cut your own hair, you have a lot of split ends. And when you cut your hair short, like I have, that's all you have is split ends. I'm like amazed. Things are just sticking up everywhere. But thank God appearance isn't my ruler of whether I'll try something new or not. And that's sort of a good thing too. So I hope you're doing okay. Okay is about as successful as I'm going to get. Really, we just won't get into how crazy things are. I hope you're taking care of yourself. And till next time, or till we meet on the video channel, the blog, the podcast, I'm a media conglomerate with medium tech skills. Take care.